Hey everybody, it is Crystal Green. Today is October 19th. 19th of 2021. This is my Bible reading, and my Power 3 reading today was Lamentations, the book of complaints or lamenting. Lamentations 3 through 5. Here's what I got. Now, in the NLT version, New Life Translation, it talks about how the title of Chapter 3 starts off with Hope in the Lord's Faithfulness. And it has a slightly different title in the New King James Version. So let me read this first verse. It says, I am the one who has seen the afflictions that come from the rod of the Lord's anger. This is a prophet who is speaking about, look, I have evidence. I have seen this. This is bad. People, it's bad and it's painful. But I really appreciate, and I think I connect to the New King James Version title best, and it's the prophet's anguish and hope, because I think that is really it's more clear for me, the fact that it is a personal viewpoint of what's going on. I mean, under this anguish, the bitterness and woe, it's listed in verse 5. And this is of chapter 3, mind you, but this is verse 5. Bitterness and woe, and blocked my way in verse 9, and feeling desolate in verse 11, and feeling and being ridiculed in verse 14, and broken teeth by chewing on gravel in verse 16, and far from peace in verse 17. All these things and more are listed all the way through 19. But once you hit verse 20, you see that little peak of blue sky past the storm. You see that little window open up and things change. Quote, my soul still remembers and sinks within me. Ugh. This I recall to my mind. Therefore, I have hope. All of these things I think about and I remember, but then there's this hope that pops in. Therefore, I have hope. Through the Lord's mercies, we are not consumed, because his compassion fails not. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore, I hope in him. And that is verses 20 through 24. Out of all of this mess that happens, yes, if it's from the prophet's view, and the prophet is not necessarily the one who went through it. I mean, you think about it. Who just walked around for 3 years because the Lord said, hey, as my prophet, I need you to do this. I need you to walk around naked for 3 years, even though it's completely inappropriate by standards, but to show an example of the problems that are happening, the problems that are coming. And mind you, completely naked could be just really more exposed than you would be during that culturally time. But out of all the stuff, out of, whether you have Crohn's or whether you have a medical issue, whether you have a digestive issue, whether you have a mental struggle, whether that is anxiety or, just struggles. We go through struggles. Some appear to have more than others. Some appear to have worse than others. Mind you, appearance is not necessarily truth or perspective, right? But out of everything, all the stuff that we battle each and every day. I mean, my daughter's first surgery when she was little was the month before she turned 2. And then to have another surgery to finish 3 months later is a lot. It's a lot. And my child was not as sick as some other kids that I know. But it was hard enough for us. But that hope, that little piece of blue sky that pokes out behind the storm, that opportunity, knowing there is more if I can just wait through with him, because he's waiting with me. If I can get to this next piece, if I can be patient enough to deal with this long suffering enough to feel kindness from others and to give kindness, to have humility, you name it, to go through disciplinary if that's what it takes. This next piece is going to be so refreshing, rewarding, beautiful, because it is hope. How is hope not beautiful? How is hope not something that will keep a person alive for years beyond when they could have passed? Yeah, hope and mercies that are renewed each and every day, to wake up and know whether I forced something to be right or not, I had been woken up that day and an opportunity to see things differently if I choose to allow my eyes to be open. That is hope. That is hope. Sending my child off to surgery with a surgeon and a nurse, and the nurse walking her through those 2 doors with the little cap on my daughter's head and her the scrubs that they put on her, and she wasn't even really 2 yet. Yes, I had hope that I would see her again. I had hope that she would come back to me, breathing, and that I would not be in a mode of grief that something went wrong, even though, yes, that was a worry, but I had hope that I would see her soon. That is a beautiful thing to look forward to, and that is what I have in my Heavenly Father. I have hope for more. I have hope for more of Him. I have hope for new and to be renewed each and every morning. Yeah, that's what I got. So, to a new morning. Good night.